Hi, this video is about waxing your Barbour jackets at home. I waxed two of the jackets, my own jacket and my husband's jacket. We've had these jackets for almost 5 years now, and the wax wore off my jacket literally in the first year because I moved to the UK about 6 years ago, and it was one of the first jackets I got, and I used it in all seasons. In the first year, even summer was a bit chilly for me. So throughout the year, I wore that jacket everywhere I went, and it's very useful. It goes without saying. But what that did is it really wore off the wax of my jacket. And into the following winter, I wore it for a while, and then because of the wax that wore off, I couldn't continue wearing it during rains or even in winter when it got misty, so I couldn't really wear it outside. After that, this jacket has just been hung in my closet because I've been meaning to get it waxed for so long. I even went to the Oxford Street barber store and I inquired, and they said they would do it, but obviously it came with a hefty cost. Also, it came with, they said, about like 4 to 6 weeks for them to wax and send back, which was a deterrent for me. Not that I was using it, but it was just like, oh, I'll have to come back again after so long. And it just, for some reason, one or the other kept on getting delayed. This time around in fall, when we started taking out our winter clothes, we saw the jackets again and we're like, okay, we really need to get something done with it. And before we decided to give it to the barber, I just thought maybe let me just give it a shot. I did not want to give it to just about any tailors or dry cleaning or cleaning places to get them waxed. I didn't want to take that chance. So I just decided to go and buy the original wax from Barbour, and I bought mine from John Lewis. They sell them there as well, and decided to give it a shot. So here is how it went. Before we dive into the video, there are a couple of things I would like to tell you. My jacket was completely worn off. The wax was completely worn off. So it was almost like canvas kind of material, which I was waxing over. And my husband's jacket, I don't think his wax was as worn off because the sheen was still there. From my jacket, it was completely gone. His sheen was still there. It had worn off, but not as much. And so there was, whilst I was waxing, there was a significant difference in the way the wax was getting on it and the way it was turning out. It's worth mentioning that this was not that difficult to do. And even in fall, the reason I was able to do it so easily is because of one tool, which came in so handy. And I didn't think I would ever use it for this purpose, but it just made my life so much easier because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have to wait until full winters when we would have heating on. And in my apartment, I don't really need that much heating because it's well insulated. So I was thinking of ways how I would do it. But because of this one tool, I was able to do it in fall without any other heating or excessively warm room or temperature. This tool is, well, I'm not sure how many of you will actually have it at home, but for a lot of women who use waxing at home, who do wax at home or for any purposes, if you happen to have a wax heater at home, it'll come in handy. So to begin with, I tried the method that Barbour tells in their video. On their YouTube video, they say that you need to have a boiling pan of water, full of water, and place the wax in it and wait for it to melt and essentially use that wax. However, it didn't work out for me. When I tried to use the boiling water and put wax in it, it took forever. It barely even melted the top layer of the wax, not even the whole tin, just a little bit on the top, which I thought like it's going to take forever and this was not going to be sustainable. So I had almost given up hope. But then I remembered I did have the wax heater. So what I did essentially needed was to have the wax melted first, and then I could use that wax heater to just maintain that temperature and have the wax melted. I had also tried melting the wax in the wax heater, but that was also taking forever. It was not gonna work as seamlessly as I would have thought for it to work. So, which is why I decided to first melt the wax in essentially like a double boiler on the hob, and then move it here. But once I moved it and the wax heater was on already, it stayed like it for the whole duration. I didn't have to do anything. It was melted and it stayed as is throughout the whole duration of me waxing 2 jackets. On the hob, I placed very carefully the open tin of wax in it and waited for it to melt. Medium heat. I didn't keep it on very high heat. It was the least fire flame hob that I used. It took not more than, I would say, a couple of minutes, maybe like 5 minutes at max, for it to melt. Once the wax was melted, I very carefully, using gloves, transported the tin from the water pan into the wax tin. And you have to be very careful about it because it's easy for you to spill it or drop it, because obviously the tin is going to get really hot. So it is essential you do wear some kind of gloves. I had the silicone gloves, so I used that. I wouldn't say it was the best choice, but that's the one that I had in front of me, so I used it. But be careful. If you do have some kind of tongs that you can use it easily with or pick it up easily with, go for it. But just be careful that you use some kind of protection on your hands before you transport it. It's also worth mentioning that on the Barbour's original or their YouTube channel, they suggest using a sponge to wax. I had seen another video, and in that the guy had used tissue, like a kitchen towel, paper towel, to wax, and I did think it worked out better. I didn't use the sponge, so I wouldn't know. However, I used the kitchen paper towel technique, and I think it worked brilliantly. The idea for it was that it also produces a layer of wax on top of the same paper towel, and essentially then it starts to glide, and it did work. I did have to use a couple. I mean, each time I had like 2 thick paper towels, and I used them, but you do have to switch after a while. But it's for the most part, it's not a lot. It's not like you have to keep changing after each 10 strokes or a little bit, and you have to change. For one jacket, I might have changed the entire two sheets of towels in maybe twice. So, for one jacket, 4 thick sheets of paper towel, kitchen paper roll, worked well. The process was not that difficult. It was very straightforward. Once you have the kitchen towel, roll it or fold it in a way that is easy in your hands, and you're able to dip and go into that motion of spreading the wax on the jacket. I started with patches with the back, and first finished one patch, then the second, and then the entire back, moving on to the hood, and then the front. In front, make sure that you get under the jacket, the pockets, the cover that you're having between pockets and other places, like little edges. You make sure that it goes everywhere, and that was it. It was very straightforward. But like I said, for my jacket, it was a bit of more work because it was completely off canvas. For my husband's jacket, it was easier. The waxing process was much quicker because it already had a bit of a layer. After waxing, I used the hairdryer to air it. To be honest, I don't know how effective is that in essence of drying the wax on the jacket. I did a little bit and I didn't think it was really worth it, so I just let it be, and I hung them to dry for almost 2 to 3 days, I left them isolated, and after 3 days, when I saw the jackets, they were completely fine. There was a little bit wax that had accumulated where I had put on a little extra, and it's just easy to brush anything extra that's on the jacket. But apart from that, there's no problem. It came out really well. My jacket, which had no layer of any wax, came out to be a little more even, and especially because obviously the whole layer was done, which looked like basically from scratch. For my husband's jacket, there were patches that I could tell that a little bit there's a difference. Overall, if you see from the afar, it looks just fine, and there's nothing that you can really tell. I hope this video was helpful for anyone who's looking to wax their Barbours at home. See you next time.
Stay tuned for results.